Hi, I'm Robin Ryback, and this is our fifth episode of Our Data, Our Future. And today we're talking about how data brings us together.
And so I'm Stephen Oram, and I have to say, Robin, I don't know about you, this one I found it really, really hard to like. I can see how it brings us together, but the wanting to think about that positively and the good things around that, I found it really hard. I kept kind of going to the bad, going to the yes, but, and yeah, I don't know about you. I sort of got my head into, but what if it wasn't there? As a way of trying to get into that. But yeah, how did you find thinking about this?
Same thing. It was really when we talked about the good in data. I thought, oh, the good. How are we even going to talk about this? And I think it comes from. I think it's natural. I think it comes from as humans our negativity bias. We're always looking, at new things. I mean, data is not new anymore, and what we're doing here, on Zoom or anywhere else isn't new, but we're always sort of have that little danger in the back of our minds. And so it took me a while also to get into, how to really think about how all that we're doing with data is good, and it is good, but it's just a matter of sort of retraining ourselves to look for the good. So, having said that, let's talk about what we do have, in terms of the infrastructure and what we've created as humans with data. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things, isn't it? As I was thinking about this, I was thinking it expands the possibilities around finding information, the possibilities for connection. Um, I'm just planning a holiday at the moment, a big train travel across Europe, and being able to kind of look at maps, look at what hotels are offering, look at train times. Now,
Mhm.
if I was 18, maybe I'd just get on a train this end and see what happened, but I'm not. And I don't have to go to a travel agent and say, that connecting, whether that's romantically or non-romantically, through apps with people who are like-minded, being able, extending things beyond the geographical boundary that you live in. I mean, these are, as you say, these are not new things. This is like going back to the hopes of the 90s almost, but it is there, and there's a lot. I mean, you probably came up with some other thoughts as well on in terms of what's there and what's good, I'm sure.
Well, I also thought about all of the, apps that we're using, not just the romantic dating apps, but the, let's get, people are new in a neighborhood and they want to meet somebody for coffee, for whatever, just to not be lonely in their new place. And there's also the whole medical industry where there are medical devices that connect us with our doctors. And if something goes wrong with, let's say somebody has a pacemaker or they're diabetic, they have a subcutaneous, device, and something starts going wrong. A human, the doctor, can come in and say, "Hey, we need to get you in right away." That wouldn't have happened before. So that is all really, really good stuff. So we do have a lot. We have a lot of good stuff, and now's the time, I think, to talk about how to get creative. How what's it going to be like in the future without thinking the negativity bias of, oh, it's all going to be bad, and things like that.
Yeah,
What's in our future?
I agree. I think the kind of it feels as if so one of the things I was thinking about when it not being there, I was thinking, where did we get stuff from in the past? And basically it was kind of teachers and parents and maybe an encyclopedia. So the fact that if you make the effort, you can check various sources of stuff. You don't have to take what your elders tell you is correct. And it feels to me as if we're beginning hopefully to understand the downsides, some of the limitations, the biases, the commercialization of all this. And by understanding it, both how it can be kind of corrupted, but also then how we can really use it. It feels like this is, as you say, this is a real moment to kind of lean in and, find those people you want to talk to rather than just going into some bland social media thing and getting shouted at. Or well, some people want to do that, and I think the word that really came to my mind was authenticity. It's kind of, whether that's authenticity of information or authenticity of relationship and all that sort of thing. It feels like, if for me, keeping that word at the front, that's what I'm kind of seeking, and all this data and all this connection and everything gives me that opportunity if I put a bit of effort in. That's kind of where my mind went, and yeah.
Yeah, and sort of to continue that just a little bit, is, I've been looking and listening to new music on YouTube, and the algorithm now is a bad word. Oh, what the algorithm does to us, but how it prevents us, and how it locks us out of things. But the algorithm, the mighty algorithm, also uh, compiles it's compiled data of what we already prefer, and it's in terms of, if you're listening to music and you're finding new music online, the algorithm will steer you towards new to you, new music that's really a great new experience. And then the other thing that I wanted to say, about how are we going to use this in the future is, there's a lot of science fiction writers that write dystopian, and of course that's, the danger, how everything is going to, go to ruin. But if we think about utopian sci-fi, or not as dystopian sci-fi, and we really let our minds wander and think about it in a really creative way, I think we can come up with new and even better ways to uh, use what we have already. I think the fear that we're being locked into by, oh, AI is bad and everything is bad. We don't allow ourselves to expand our minds maybe as much as we should, because we're being held back by fear.
Yeah, I agree. So, and picking up on what you're saying about music, yes, so okay, you can be very, very passive, and you kind of, the algorithm keeps you in a groove of the stuff you've already listened to. Even if you're hearing new bands or musicians, you're hearing the same genre, let's say, but there's nothing to stop you saying, like, I don't know, I want to have 21st century opera, please. I know nothing about that. So you can puncture, if you're not passive, you can kind of puncture that algorithm and get it to do stuff that, it's not going to do otherwise. There was a phrase that was going around in my head when I was thinking about this, which was, "We want our web back," and it's like,
Yeah.
like nobody's it's not like somebody's going to give us the web back, but everything is there for us to take it and use it. And the more we understand how it works, the better equipped we are to make it work for us. This is a familiar sort of trope of mine, but it can be positive, and if we put effort in, we can get there. Is how I'm kind of feeling.
So in other words, it's all there for the taking. We have to take it. We
Yeah,
have
and
to
it's
we have
effort.
to be able to
We
take it.
like convenience is a falsehood. It's just like, yeah, make some
Right.
effort.
Right. And to wrap this up, you and I have had conversations behind the scenes before we do this very small snippet, and we were both talking about how rich all of these subject matters are, and how in a small 7 to 10 minute podcast, you can only get like a little taste or a little version of what we're actually talking about. And I think it's important uh, to get it out there that this is just a starting point to think about things. This isn't the full conversation, and it shouldn't
Yeah,
be the full
absolutely.
conversation.
No, absolutely. This is that little drop of kind of thought or ideas for others and ourselves to talk about more outside of this, as you say, 7 to 10 minutes. So I think that's probably is our 7 to 10 minutes. So thanks to everyone for listening. Obviously, you can subscribe to our Substack so you know when the next one's coming out. And yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.